Hey gang, JC here, and this is the Daily Dose for Tuesday, March 13th, 2012, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. Great television archives, top of the page, we have our eye candy feature below, and over in the corner, the results of yesterday's Rock and Roll poll question go like this. New Rams defensive coordinator Gregg Williams in hot water with the NFL over these bounty programs. You take this guy out of the game, you knock him out, you break his head off, whatever. We'll give you like $1,200, whatever's in the kitty, stuff like that. And so our question is, what should happen to Gregg Williams? And it's a very interesting split here because it's a tie with 32% each of the audience between he should be fired or issue him a warning but then leave him alone, because it's hypocritical and unfair to do something to him when this is going on throughout the league and it's been going on for decades. Hell, Buddy Ryan was doing this in the 1970s, for God's sakes. Another 23% of you said he should be suspended a full season, and 12% said a half season. And so we pretty much got nowhere on that one, but here we go again. Let's try. Undauntingly, JC forges ahead with today's question. Today is Tornado Safety Day. So when there is severe weather in the area and you need information, how do you normally get it? That's today's question. Radio, TV, weather radio, online or through social media, tornado sirens, or I don't pay much attention to any of it, or we put an other in there too. Very curious to see what happens. They're sounding the tornado sirens at 1:30 today. This was me back in grade school in the 1960s, because the first Monday of every month, they would sound the tornado sirens in Chicago. And so we're in the middle of the Cold War. So I said to the teacher one day, raised my hand, why don't the Russians attack us on Monday at 11 a.m. when they sound the tornado sirens? Because we would never suspect anything, and they would be bombing us like crazy. And I was sent to the principal's office for asking that question. All I did was ask. I think that's a really good question. I was on my way to being Larry King, or at least Piers Morgan, for God's sakes. I mean, that was a really insightful question for a kid in third grade, and I was punished for it. And that's where it all started, folks. That's where it all started. My slight problem with authority. Just leave it at that. Please answer in the corner about the severe weather thing. We'll have results for you tomorrow. All right, Mitt Romney's going to be in town today, down in Kirkwood just before noon. Go crazy, folks, go crazy. Santorum, in a national poll, pulls ahead of him by 4 points. And Obama now drops 9 percentage points in approval rating practically overnight. It's those damn gasoline prices. All right. Normally, I save this sort of stuff for the end of the Daily Dose, but this is a very, very unusual day today because 4 very interesting movies and 2 very, very good movies are coming out on home video today, and they are worth your time. First of all, let's start with My Week with Marilyn. Michelle Williams as Marilyn Monroe. And if you think this is going to be some ditzy movie where she's just, bouncing around, shaking her ass, that's not it. This is, again, a very, very thoughtful, serious and yet funny, but thoughtful movie. And you might want to check it out. Michelle Williams, very, very good. Got an Oscar nomination out of this whole thing. Now let's talk about Melancholia. This is a movie, it's a sci-fi movie about some giant planet on a collision course with Earth, but it's also more of a psychological study in the way that the people handle it. There have been better movies made about this. There's a movie called Last Night, not about last night. We're not talking about the Demi Moore, Rob Lowe thing. We're talking about a movie that came out of Canada about 10 years ago, and that's very, very good, and that is I think one of the more realistic depictions of how people would handle the announced ending of the planet Earth. Anyhow, Melancholia, I mention this because for a long time, red-blooded American men have been waiting for an opportunity to see Kirsten Dunst with her shirt off. And not only is it off, it's off a lot, and it's unobstructed, and it's just a wonderful thing. The movie is called Melancholia. Now we talk about young adult. This is a movie I've not seen, but I've heard is certainly worth your time, with Charlize Theron, who does very, very good work. She comes home to try to break up the marriage of her high school boyfriend. I plan on seeing that. I will let you know after I've seen it, but I've been told it's very good. And finally, The Descendants, which a lot of people thought was the best movie of the year. George Clooney and the incredible Shailene Woodley, who plays George's youngest daughter in this movie. The Descendants is just absolutely this is a great movie. and at the same time surprising and bittersweet and a lot of things. Surprisingly funny at times, dealing with a pretty, bleak subject matter. But George Clooney at his best, oddly funny and sarcastic, and again, very, very thoughtful movie, very, very well made. And again, it's called The Descendants, and it is worth your time. And those movies, all four of them we just talked about, are available on home video and pay-per-view and all that sort of stuff starting today. All right, when you post something on Facebook, think about it before you do it. New survey about Facebook, believe it or not, you're actually annoying a lot of people when you post something political. New survey says 73% of people are very, very annoyed when people post political stuff on Facebook. Believe it or not, the majority of couples say they get it out in the shower. 53% of people say they sometimes have relations in the shower or tub, and 6% say they do it a lot. In New Zealand, one of the strangest ideas I've ever heard, at least certainly recently, is something called pizza roulette. And in New Zealand, you order from this one pizza place, and they cut the pizza into 6 slices, and then you and 5 of your friends sit there and you each eat a piece of pizza. There's only one problem. One of the pieces, only one, contains the hottest chili spice available on the market, meaning 7 people enjoy their slice. What was it? They said 7 slices. 7 slices are cut. Well, all right, I got the math wrong. Anyhow, all but one person who eats the pizza enjoys it, and one person basically goes looking for a fire hydrant to suck on because you got the hottest chili known to man on there, and it's called pizza roulette, coming out of New Zealand. And why do I have this feeling we're going to have it in St. Louis any day as soon as people hear about this goofy story? A team lost a game on Friday night in Connecticut at a 6th grade basketball tournament, and understandably, their assistant coach responded by biting off a piece of the winning coach's ear. A teacher in Tennessee was suspended last week after throwing a bucket of water on 2 students who were kissing in the hallway. Sounds about right in Tennessee. And check out a list of 9 warning signs you're going to get audited by the IRS. Here you go. Your income dropping from one year to the next. Home office expenses. Losses from a hobby and being self-employed. Have a nice day. Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, they unveiled an ice sculpture, in this case, of Kirsten Stewart. I always get my Kirsten Dunst and my Kristen Stewarts. I've been doing that for years. Yes, it's Kristen Stewart. So Madame Tussauds, normally known for the wax figures, this time they do ice. Fans say the sculpture is just like the real thing, except with infinitely more acting range. Newt Gingrich called the new ABC show GCB anti-Christian. Apparently the show doesn't feature enough cheating and divorcing for Gingrich's taste. Keith Urban and John Legend will tour together this summer for a series of concerts. It'll be referred to as the Urban Legend Tour. You saw it coming, didn't you? Somebody put out a list of I'm going to say exactly what it says, the 10 biggest and most banging booties in Hollywood. All the usual suspects. Coco, Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, Amber Rose, Jessica Biel, Nicki Minaj, Alicia Keys, Serena Williams, who, if you saw the picture they put in there, you might disagree. And then my vote goes to a woman by the name of Vida Guerra, who I've never heard of before. But if you would like to go to the internet, look at this picture of her walking away from the pool in a black thong. She may win you over immediately. 51 years ago today, in 1961, a then 79-year-old Pablo Picasso married his 37-year-old nude model Jacqueline Roquet. Picasso once said the 2 most perfectly designed creations on earth were the bagel and the vagina. His words, not mine. All right, we have 26 days until Easter. I mentioned that because yesterday I talked to Dave Murray and I said, Dave, we got these record temperatures here. What's going on? Are we going to see any more snow? Are we going to use the shovel again at all? And he basically said this: next 10 days to 2 weeks, record temperatures over 2/3 of the nation. Record temperatures. Just crazy stuff. But very last week of March and first week of April, big cold snap. Whether or not it's going to produce snow, it's hard to say. The ground's real warm and all that sort of stuff. But in any event, there is cold weather coming. Very, very tail end of March, first part of April, according to Dave Murray. 26 days until Easter, as we said. All right, JC's Eye Candy today. There are some things that are just too stupid for words, and this is one of them. Check out video of something called the new Redneck Camping Game. It's about 30 seconds. Redneck Camping Game. It's so stupid, you'll love it, and you'll probably send it to everybody you know. Let's just leave it at that. All right, again, JC's Rock and Roll poll today. It's Tornado Safety Day. How do you normally find out about severe weather? Radio, TV, weather radio, online, or through social media. Tornado sirens, or I don't pay much attention to any of it. We also put other in there. Please answer in the corner. Results for you tomorrow right here. And, of course, Trish Gazelle and I every day on the Big 550 KTRS from noon until 3 o'clock. That's it. JC's Daily Dose for Tuesday, March 13th, 2012. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.